Hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Oh, yo, uh, hello. Microphone check. Microphone check. Something is up. Something is up. Hello, 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 hello. Microphone. Oh, yo, uh, all right, guys. I'm not really sure what. I can't hear myself, but you guys can hear me, so we are gonna keep it running. Hey, how you guys doing today? I had initially scheduled Queen of the Sun, but she had a little accident with her dog. She had to take her dog to the veterinarian, so we rescheduled. And hey, no biggie, man. My dog just had babies. It's all about the dogs, man. Take care of your family, take care of your surroundings, your loved ones, and these dogs show us the most love. So it would be kind of rude for us to not show love back. Am I right? And hey, you know, it's all about that good health and positivity. All right, guys. So I'm just gonna run down through some news for you. We got that covered. Let's get it. Right here. All right. First thing, we got the weed. Hey, so they are cloning weed literally through stem cell technology. We're gonna discuss this today. It's about 10-minute read maybe. By Ellen Holland, written yesterday. Weed's tissue culture moment has arrived. Resilient cultivars are emerging as clones grown via stem cell technology. Whether it's for orchids, berries, bananas, plant tissue culture has been widely used in agriculture for nearly 40 years to produce uniform and disease free stock. But when it comes to cannabis, this technology has only emerged within the last few years as scientists working with weed crack the code of what the plant wants to reproduce successfully at small scale, joining in a fight against one of pot's primary foes, hop latent viroid disease. Cannabis tissue culture is a new path forward towards preserving the genetics of one of the most diverse botanicals on the planet. And while cultivars have been able to get their hands on tissue culture grown cuts for about 8 years, tissue culture clones were made available to the public for the first time through Node Labs at the Emerald Cup Harvest Ball held in December last year. Cannabis is a tissue culture resistant plant. There are certain plants that are that way, says Lauren Avenues, CEO of Node Labs, explaining why it took so long for the technology to become viable for cannabis. So, like avocados, grapevines, they just don't like to go into micropropagation. They don't like that kind of replication. And since cannabis is an annual plant, it likes to grow from a seed, then flower and die. The scientists working with a node, a small lab located with an unassuming red barn in rural Petaluma, California, spent years studying tissue culture before discovering the methodology that made stem cell technology for cannabis work. Now that they have their faculty houses an impressive bank of cannabis genetics, it causes a few snickers when I say it loud, but being born inside a room with shelves devoted to tissue culture clones, each in their own container, reminds me of being a pet store aquarium. All the plants are growing within a clear jelly like substance derived from seaweed called agar, allowing their whole root structure to be seen. They are terrariums that hold the story of pot's past, present, and future. Chief Science Officer Chris Leviett walked me through the procedures at Node by explaining that plants, unlike humans, do not have an awareness of their entire body. Plants are a colony of cells that are attached to each other. So if a stem is receiving all of the likes sap that it would be getting normally in the agar. It doesn't even know that it's not attached to the plant. You can still grow plants parts in tissue culture in a way you cannot grow outside. You can grow a dissection of just a leaf or a stem. You can really break the rules of typical plant growing by having it in that setting. My tour at Node starts in the prefab clean room where the media, the agar, is mixed with an autoclave, a device designed for sterilization. This room is also where the other tools used for tissue culture process, such as scissors and jars, are sterilized. I put on a second set of surgical booties before heading into the growth chamber and transfer room, where I watch the hot agar being dispensed into the same clear plastic containers I see in the bulk food section of my local grocery store. Within this room, the air quality is at iOS 8 or ISO 8, a measure that contains 1,000 specks of dust within a cubic, also used in electronic and medical manufacturing. All of the sterilization and air cleanliness ensure no contamination enters the lab. So it's probably like the cleanest room ever to breathe in. One of the things that we do here is clean plants, says Luis Matnar, Node's director of propagation. Cleaning plants is a process by which you take a plant from the outside world and you run it through a process that we developed here. We select the plants that do not have any tissues associated with them, like pathogenic bacteria, fungi, fusarium being one of the ones that affects the cannabis industry very much. Also, we index for HLVD, which is hop latent viroid. Matner started working for the cannabis after a career in tissue culture that included work with the berry company Driscoll's. Actually, Driscoll's is very local to me. Like literally, I worked for Driscoll's this year. Interesting, interesting. And tropical ornament plants such as peace lilies, he also worked with. He says the clear media is used because it's diagnostic and shows when things should not be growing on the plant. Next, we enter another room where shelves store cannabis plants in various stages of growth. There are also shelves containing some other plant node in testing for research, including wine grapes and the cutest tiny tempranillo, whatever that is. We're gonna go ahead, I guess, check it out. Not really sure why. I'm having a hard time with this search engine today. It's up and down. It's so weird. Well, whoever finds out what a tempera nilo is, drop it down below in the comments. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and let's keep it. To start work with Node, clients provide 10 clone stems from the cannabis plant to form what Mountainer calls as a bouquet. The clones are broken down into the cellular level because cannabis has a strong affinity for endogenous contaminants within the stem. Leviat explains the scientists at Node cut the clones down to one part, the meristem, a type of tissue in plants that houses stem cells or cells from which all other types of cells develop. What you're basically doing is taking the cannabis clones down to the essential stem cells of the plant. You're eliminating all of the epigenetic, all, all of the genetic toggles related to stress or environment. You get the plant down to its pure expression, its genetics, and then also removing essentially all of the vascular tissue. So you're just getting a brand new pure example and sample of that cannabis plant that we can now grow into tissue culture free of any influences. And then you see its pure genetic expression. What you're basically doing is like growing the best fucking weed ever. When you cut down to the meristem, the clones are only about half a millimeter to a millimeter in size. Once the plants grow bigger and start looking like cannabis plants instead of little blobs, they are tested for HLVD, a pathogen in cannabis clones that causes growth stunting and reduces the plant's ability to produce trichomes. Levy explains that HLVD is like skin cancer. It can affect one part of the plant, but not another. This is another reason tissue culture has been such a valuable tool in combating the virus because it reduces a plant to its most basic elements. After the plants have passed the extensive screening process, they are grown to about 3 or 4 inches. and are used to fill the bank, the system in which Node keeps cannabis genetics within a genetic library. These two refrigerators play a huge role in the large genetics cannabis market. Avenia says this Node's genetic bank, containing work from cannabis breeders like Sherbinsky and Masonic, as well as companies like Colorado, Connected, and smaller growers like Sonoma Hills Farms, which banked its Pink Jesus. That sounds fire, man. I want to smoke some Pink Jesus. The genetic bank aspect of the company ties to the beginning of Node Labs. Node was founded in 2018 after Felipe Recalde, CEO of Compound Genetics, and Node co-founder lost a genetic library of cannabis cultivars and his home in the Tubbs Fire, the most destructive wildfire in California history that tore through Santa Rosa in 2017. Recognizing everyone around him had also lost their mom stock, Recalde saw tissue culture as the future for genetic preservation. He'd been experimenting with faulty kits for tissue culture since 2018. Still, it wasn't until he partnered with Leviat, who had been working on using tissue culture to preserve endangered species, that he saw that tissue culture could be viable for cannabis. Nowadays, genetics are stored within a lab and at a place off-site to serve as an additional backup against a disaster like a fire. Some of the work Node does is private client services of storing the genetics, but some companies like Connected Cannabis Co. also have certified genetics available for licensing. The consistency of the tissue culture clones one received from Node Labs ensures that brands that operate in many states, like one of the labs partnered Khalifa Kush, backed by rappers with Khalifa, can provide standardized, consistent flowers across the country. Node's primary partnership with Compound Genetics allows labs to grow clones to flower for clients to test. The minds at Compound Genetics grow plants from seed in their San Francisco facility and phenohunt to provide the best clone selections for their clients. The process at Node gives the genetics an authentication that does not occur if someone obtains a clone cut from a Fend. The future of the tissue culture industry is not in creating a million plants to order, but instead holding genetics and delivering mother plants that growers can multiply through traditional propagation, Livia says. The main functionary of tissue culture here is not the micropropagation. It's not to get you 50,000 plants in one go, Levitt explains. Of the difference in tissue culture techniques in cannabis versus traditional agriculture, it's germplasm storage, which is the fancy term in the agriculture issue of holding genetics, genetic banking. Another indication of the future of cannabis propagation occurring at Node Labs is the process of the vitro phenohunts, or growing seeds within the agar jelly within test tubes. Node takes a tissue culture from small plantlets the seeds produce and grow those plants out, saving time for cultivars because if they like the results, the tissue culture already exists. It allows us to save a lot of time, but it also means that when we pop the seed and then we take the clone and put it out, we already have some advantages of tissue culture the first time we grow. As an immature plant, it hasn't been exposed to any viruses or pathogens, and then it has some of the unique morphology that you get from tissue culture plants. They tend to have a higher vigor, higher yields, better stem strength, so you're getting a better performing plant from the very beginning. Leviat points out an example within the lamb, Gastro Pop number 5, a cross of apples and bananas and grape gas, which was developed in-house via vitro phenohunt. That Gastropop 5 over there, the plants in this lab have never seen microbial fungus and bacteria in their entire life. If someone finds an outstanding cultivar they are in love with, a 6-month process to get a tissue culture clone could stunt the excitement, he explains. With that process in vitro, we could have the excitement of smoking the joint and going, this is the one, and going, cool, it's here at the lab at the same time. An in vitro phenohunt is how Sherbinsky and Compound created Tribute, of gelato number 41 and apples and bananas. Look out for the future collaborations between Compound Genetics, Tiki Madman, and Compound Genetics and Greenhouse Seed Company. At the Emerald Cup Harvest Ball held in December 2022, Compound was able to offer Bare Pulse tissue culture clones of their newest offerings. These came without the agar jelly because the clones are more transportable that way. The Bare Pulse part comes from the fact that they are bare root or stored without soil around the roots. The Bare Pulse clones can be planted in a chosen medium and become a mother plant to grow with consistent genetics. We love this as the next gen of clones. The whole process of tissue culture clones is an exciting new frontier for cannabis, one which I was able to experience firsthand when Recall Day gifted me a tissue culture clone at the social gathering. I took the test tube filled with a clone held in suspense within what I've learned is agar, home, and grew it out to flower. At the time, I didn't know that miniature plant containing within a test tube had the mighty makings to power a brand. Fascinating. So they're saying that these clones are actually stronger, have more yield. Very interesting. This is a new technology of cannabis. This is where a direction of cannabis is headed. Like there's multiple directions cannabis is headed. This is one of them. This is fascinating. I just found out about this, and personally, I am not really against this. Some people might be, and there's also something within here that made me, you know, spark up something in my brain. Like, all right, so they talk about how the California fire of 2017 destroyed a lot of crops. And if you're a cannabis grower, look, man, like don't be stingy with your shit. Dude, like share out your genetics, share out your seeds, whatever, to trusted individuals, and don't be that guy who holds on to the master genetics and then never lets it out, so it like disappears for all of history and all of eternity, and you're just gonna be like, so what? I the genetics. That's selfish, man. Like that's selfish. You know, yeah, there's a thing like people want to keep their shit private, but no, dude, like this, bro, God didn't give you this private ties. This isn't just for you. Like all of this right here, these master genetics and these master growers. Like for me, I'm mid. I'm okay. Like I'm all right. I'm not shitty, but I'm not the best. And throughout this whole process, I'll never shy away from passing on my genetics, personally, because I understand the potential of getting the genetics out there to the rest of the world, and good clean you know grows, not any damaged seeds and all that. Nothing like, I'm not gonna be stingy. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, man, my stuff's the best and no one can have it. No, man, like, hey, dude, get it out there, because these plants can heal hundreds, thousands, millions, like a lot of people. And the more that we just share out these genetics, the better it is. Because then we don't have to like, look, man. He said that right here in this, it said it lost its genetic library. Compound Genetics lost his genetic library, bro. That sounds like a lot. That sounds like dozens of strains. And I personally know that is a hassle, because we talk about it here in the cannabis community, how strains have evolved and some have disappeared, and this and that. Well, we don't have to like worry about that. Like if we're not stingy, you know, it's just the way it is. It's the way it should go. That's the way I feel, man. Moving forward, though, let's go ahead and get this going. Massachusetts adult use cannabis reaches nearly 4 billion in 2022. Ooh, man. Oof. It says 1.42 billion in adult use sales was recorded between January 1st and December 18th. So like 350 days, $1.5 billion nearly. Hey, you guys want to see some growth in your community? Push for this in your local town hall meetings. It'll really spark a lot of money, help you guys get rich, bring in a lot of revenue. Goes for my city, because my city don't have this. Like we have dispensaries in the next city over, actually at the edge of our city, which is ridiculous. Moving forward, though, Montana tops $200 million in first year of recreation sales. $200 million, yo, that's a lot of money, man. So medical cannabis came out to $100 million. So in its first year of recreational pot sales, it amounted to 200 million. Hey, by next year, it'll probably be like 400 million in Montana. Yeah, it's definitely gonna go up. Continuing forward, this may have been an article I shared a couple weeks ago, but this is important. Again, Week CBDC project. This was November 16th. So 12 weeks from November 16th, that's coming up pretty soon. Probably around February, right? It'll be over. The New York Innovation Center, a collaboration between the New York Fed and Bank for International Settlements Innovation Hub, is launching a new phase of research into the digital dollar project, according to a Tuesday press release. Citi, Wells Fargo, BNY Mellon, U.S. Bank, PNC Bank, TD Bank, Triust, HSBC, and MasterCard are participating in the 12-week proof of concept trial, which will use simulated data in a test environment. The project will experiment with the concept of a regulated liability network and allow banks to simulate issuing digital currency depicting their customers' funds before it settles through the central bank reserves through a distributed ledger. Hey, this is digital currency. So, a couple weeks ago, some of the biggest names were right in New York, in America, are launching this CBDC program. So they're really testing it out. Look, it's not saying that it's going to happen to every single citizen next year, but just it's just good to know what some of these states, some of these banks, and what the government has in role play for us. I mean, personally, I can hope that maybe the CBDC will be used for benefit. Like there will be no way that your account goes into negative, like, giving people wrongful points for being truthful, or, you know, um, like dissentful type of point stylings. No, like I hope that it doesn't go that way. And I hope that, in all honesty, that the CBDC is something where it's just like money is being given back to us. Um, and it's just being used for the benefit, like free money. I mean, look, it's a tough one, right? Because that sounds unrealistic, but, well, when we kind of hear what's going on behind the scenes with the space disclosure and entities and other races coming here and trying to make some deals with the world, you can kind of see the could go for the good or for the bad. We just don't know yet. I mean, the disclosure project is kind of something to make people be at ease of this tax and illicit federal market. This the money market that we experience right here in America. All this, it's kind of rubbish, right? So the disclosure project between other entities and like this, you know, other entities, aliens and shit, would be to help alleviate a lot of the, um, put us back on our natural system of like trading and other goods, using gold, silver. I mean, like the way that our money system is set up, no, it's rubbish. We know it's kind of rigged up to a point where a certain amount of people control it all. So it's not even a fair system, right? But hey, who knows if the system is trying to be balanced, or we're just getting uh, all our asses handed to us pretty soon. Who knows? I just hope for the best. Personally, I just needed to let you guys know this. Everybody, needs a quick understanding that the CBDC implications are coming near, uh, and the government wants them to come to fruition. Like this. The World Economic Forum is now bragging about their mRNA gene editing technology and how they will control the future. So you see the CBDC, it will be controlled with some of the aspects how they want to trying to control. That's all they want to do. Control your mind, body, your soul, your movements, your money, all of that. And let's go ahead and play this for y'all. All right.
Speaking, we're talking about improving biology, redesigning organisms for beneficial purposes. It's going to allow us to not just edit genomes, but also, and importantly, write a new code for life. We'll have right level permissions. We already started to see some of that this year. COVID-19 vaccines, they make use of engineered code in the form of RNA. What's on the horizon are diminished reality glasses that look very much like what I'm wearing, that would allow you to remove things from your from your view, whether that's garbage or other people.
So, yeah, you guys seen that? They want to rewrite everything about you, everything about us. They do not want us living our natural lives. It is a tough call because, hey, man, some of these things are saving us, some of these things are hurting us. What do we trust, right? Just trust your gut. You can save yourself through meditation and holistic healing, man. Like, you don't need all of this. You don't need all of this to heal you. As far as enhancements like Neuralink and all that shit, bro, hey, that's all on you. We are genetically modified creatures, and like we are not natural in our own sense. So, I mean, if you want enhancements, that's all on you. But if you want healing, just go the holistic route first, and then, if you need technology, do whatever you need to live, and just don't hurt anybody. All right, let's continue forward. Biden wants your next airport visit to include a face scan. That sounds like it's another factor of control. Like, they want to scan your face. Bro, I mean, that sounds exactly like it is. That's a huge threat to your freedom. Face cam technology is already abused by authoritarian states like China and Russia. In December, the U.S. Transportation Security Administration, an agency within Biden's Department of Homeland Security, acknowledged that it has significantly expanded facial recognition technology at security checkpoints in airports across the United States. Under the expanded program, 16 of the nation's largest airports are now using face scans as a way to verify the identities of travelers, including in Atlanta, Boston, Denver, Los Angeles. The TSA's initial test facial recognition program started under the Trump administration in 2017. Fuck, dude. So yeah, another reason that this dude's an asshole. Whoever was falling for Trump, dude, that shit was it's a lie. It's a lie, dude. The system asks passengers to insert a photo identification into a security kiosk and then look at the camera. After a few seconds, the machine uses artificial intelligence to compare the face scan with a photo ID. If the system says the two match, the passenger can move forward to his. Yeah, I can't pause this video down here. If a potential mismatch is identified, a human TSA agent will determine whether to deny access to the traveler. Eventually, humans will be removed from the verification process altogether, probably by robots. If the new program is deemed successful, TSA plans to expand facial recognition at airports nationwide, making it one of the largest efforts to collect advanced biometric data of law-abiding citizens in U.S. history. The Biden administration says that biometric technology like facial recognition can enhance security effectiveness, operational efficiency, and the passenger experience. And in some respects, It probably could. TSA Administrator David Pekoski says his agency has found that facial recognition algorithm is more accurate than human TSA agents, and TSA claims that eventually facial recognition could be combined with government databases to eliminate the need for carrying ID at the airport completely. But as convenient and effective the program could become, it poses a substantial long-term threat to individual liberty that far outweighs its possible benefits. The TSA says it will not keep the data associated with most travelers' facial scans, although some will be retained to test the system's effectiveness and for law enforcement. And the TSA further promises that under the current iteration of the program, it will allow travelers to opt out of the facial scans entirely, but there is no guarantee that these policies will remain permanent. And there are no federal laws that would prevent TSA from storing biometric data in the future. Allowing the TSA to collect and potentially store facial scans would make it much easier for government to track citizens' every move in the years to come. And it could open the door to significant abuses of power and privacy risks. This might sound like a wild conspiracy theory or plot from a science fiction movie, but authoritarian regimes around the world are already using facial recognition to limit freedom. For example, the Chinese government uses on a daily basis its vast surveillance state coupled with facial recognition to track and control its massive population as part of its social credit system. In Hong Kong, 2019, facial recognition was one of the most important tools used by the Chinese Communist Party to rein in protesters seeking to retain personal liberties. So all those videos of people getting pulled out of their house right here, guys. That is why it's telling you playing out inside, which is what we told you. We were like, hey, I think this is actually the social credit rilers, the threats to humanity getting jailed up. They were getting rounded up like pigs. It was sick. China is sick. Similarly, in Russia, Vladimir Putin's ruthless government has repeatedly used facial recognition to keep tabs on protesters and political opponents. In some cases, Putin's have even used facial recognition to help government agents arrest critics. Biden is not nearly as authoritarian as the Communist Party of China or Vladimir Putin, of course, but there is no guarantee that he or rogue agents in the federal government won't abuse facial recognition technology if given the opportunity. And who knows what a future administration might do when given such a powerful tool. The U.S. government has already in recent years been caught on numerous occasions unjustly spying on Americans. For example, in 2022, Oregon Democratic Senator Ron Wyden alleged that the Phoenix Office of Homeland Security is illegally issuing customs summits to gain access to citizens' financial data, all without an approval from court. More than 6 million records were allegedly made available to law enforcement agents under potentially illegal subpoenas. The Homeland Security Investigations Agency, like the TSA, is housed under the Department of Homeland Security. There are times when privacy must be limited in order to enhance security, but there is absolutely no evidence to suggest that the expansion of facial recognition is one of those moments. Traveling by air is one of the safest forms of transportation in the United States today, and despite there being very little facial recognition used over the past 2 decades, we have yet to see a single major terrorist attack involving airplanes since 2001. Why is it so important for government to use facial recognitions at airports then? It is essential in the preservation of a society for citizens to have greater control over the government than the government over its citizens. The balance of power in recent decades has been tilting towards the government, and this move by the Biden administration will undoubtedly continue that disturbing trend of tipping the scales to the government. It must be stopped immediately. That is devastating. Look, this just came out today, actually, it's brand new. And so you can bet by the end of the year, if all of this goes through, if we don't stand up, if we don't fucking, reject this bullshit, then this will be nationwide across at every airport and everybody. But who knows, dude? We just need to continue speaking up. The more that we speak up, the less that they can run it over us like lies. They can't lie to us if we speak up and speak the truth. Right? Am I right? Am I right? Now, check this out. Bank of England receives 20 applications to develop CBDC wallet prototype December 28, 2022. So the Bank of England now is trying out the CBDC. So we already have China, Russia, we have Saudi Arabia, we have places like Syria, other African states. They're literally 10 or more places around the world are already using CBDC. Kazakhstan, Ukraine, many of these war locations have already made their citizens and the refugees, because that's what they call them, right? Even though they're actually just citizens, they're like, nah, you're a refugee now, because it's a war zone. So no matter what, they're all refugees. So they're taking in the refugees, putting them on CBDC, eye scanning them, pricking their blood, having them on chips, doing all this stuff using facial recognition, pretty much. In a matter of moments, meaning from 2019 to 2022, we are seeing a flash. Boom, the camera goes off, and now everybody is digitally imprinted and facially watched. And hey, welcome to the new world. I guess that's what they want, but we'll see if it continues. Well, who knows? Well, moving forward. Turkey's central bank completes first CBDC test with more to come in 2023. So Turkey is another one. The Central Bank of Republic of Turkey has completed the first trial of CBDC and has signaled plans to continue testing through 2023. The Central Bank Authority said it successfully made its first payment transactions using the digital lira. Wow. Hey, so Turkey. Andrew Collins is still banned from Turkey. And I bet you that Graham Hancock is next. Moving forward, I'll rip this. So, rumor has it Mel Gibson directing a movie, New World Order. Interesting. Mel Gibson, he actually is making the Passion of the Christ new movie. Am I correct? Yes, he is making a new Passion of the Christ movie. Right here. Mel Gibson has decided to hit the global New World Order agenda by directing a movie about the Rothschild family, a family of bankers. These bankers have indebted the entire world through organizations like the Bank of International Settlements and the World Bank, and through global organizations such as the United Nations, CFR, which is the Council of Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group. With every single mention of the Rothschild family, the media around the world has already declared war on the director and wants to stop not only the production of him, but punish Gibson himself. Oof. Hey, I'm looking forward to this. Mel Gibson is the man. Hey, protect this dude at all costs. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling, guys. Oh, but whatever. I'm not tripping. But a lot of people are tripping. We're talking about UFOs right now, guys. You see this? Last night, Russian air defenses intercepted a UFO 7 kilometers from the town of Sultan Sali, Rostov. Let's look at this. So here's one angle. There's multiple angles. Oh, it would just freeze. Here we go. Still again. What is... Whoa. Huh. Unless that's just the way the video is. It's not really showing the full explosion now. It was showing the full explosion. Okay, so look at this, guys. All right, we see it. Here it is. Oh no, it's still lagging right at that time. It's so weird. It's like there's a little bit of a hit on the feed because sometimes they can scratch out little seconds and flood it. Russia UFO Rostov. So we are going to show you this Russian Rostov UFO. Hey, I'm telling you, man, things are happening, and it's right now. Like the world is coming to the truth about everything that's going on. Yo, you guys see how laggy it is, bro? This ain't normal. When I'm running this by myself, everything is at a like the internet is literally so fast when I'm here by myself and just not online. Is what I'm saying. Let's check this out. Look at this, guys. Yo, you did see like a circle on that explosion. It wasn't just like a flash. There was all that explosion. You seen it? Watch. I'll pause it. Go back and pause it. This was a good. This right. Oh wait. Okay. Let me see if I can show you what I'm seeing. All right. All right. See, yeah, you can kind of see around that white. Ah, yep, right there. You can kind of see around the white light. There's another like s- silverish. You can see a little bit of. I want to say silver, but right there. See that the second layer. That's a very much darker layer of an actual object. It's not just the explosion. That's been there the whole time. So we can see still. We can see it's illuminating. Like I don't know. Okay, what I'm kind of seeing is that maybe the bottom of the spacecraft was damaged because all right, we do know that in speculatively a lot of these spacecrafts, the engine is at the bottom or the center. So it could be that what we're seeing right there, flare, is the engine, whatever kind of engine it is, like fucking up, and then it gets just shot out, boom, right there. So it's already flaring. It's already bright, illuminated, literally damaged, and then a second warfare. Because, all right, you know, Roswell was supposedly the same shit as this. Literally, they said that there was missiles firing at Roswell's craft. They blew it down with our anti-aircraft. So, um, you know, you know, you know. Yeah, guys. Moving forward, though, that is all. We are through today. Hey, Wasp Boss. Hey, I appreciate you for coming in, man. Hey, honestly, I do not check the comments until afterwards. Facial recognition cloaking devices or clothing should be available. Yeah, so they actually do have cloaking devices. Those are available for like the highest level of military. There is clothing that can like read sound and light and shit. So the clothing technology is upgrading. Eventually, here within a few years, you're gonna see some crazy clothing. I'll be honest. I thought Trump was going to drain the swamp. Yeah, Trump was just another snake. I think what he was doing was like he was a brown coat. He was pretty much just rounding up all of the dissidents and then handing them over to Biden. Like literally, I don't think Trump was leading a real revolution. I think he was a one of those like what Pied Pipers. He was playing a tune. He was one of those snake charmers. He was playing a tune, and bringing out everybody who was against the government, and then just like, hey, FBI, CIA, all that shit's pointing him out now. You know, we he called out everybody to be put on a list. I feel like Walmart has some weird facial recognition cameras in the parking lot. I wouldn't doubt it, dude. I literally think, actually, no, I know that these places are now using facial recognition. Walmart, so your Safeway, your grocery stores. I actually seen, what is it, like Walgreens or one of these places, Food Smart. I don't remember which one it was, but it's a place. Here in America, they're one of a large grocery supplier, and they're starting to have like ID scanners and shit. Like, so you can't fucking go in without like scanning your ID and like scanning your face and having a little tracker, all that shit, and having it all like digitalized. It's crazy, but it's happening. But the more that we stand up, the less that it'll fly. We are about to get probed by robots at the airport. That's why I don't fly, bro. I'll just drive. I'm not like gonna fly. I mean, I have flown on some planes before, but with the way it's headed, I'm just saying FTS, fuck that shit. I'm good. We could just drive, homie. Like, yeah, hey, it's cool seeing society, through the roads and not through the sky, because you can't really see everything. All you just do is looking at clouds and fake shit. Yeah, it was pretty glitchy. I'm pretty sure that video was getting hit, but I did manage to show you the second video, and that is amazing. Hey, I appreciate you coming in, Wasp Boss. Yeah, man. For everybody at home, Wasp Boss is a podcast partner. Hey, you guys go ahead and have a wonderful weekend, and I will go ahead and see y'all on Monday. I should be having an interview with Eric Hecker speaking about Antarctica and about the mysteries that are going on below us or around us. Whichever way you look at it, Antarctica is one of the most mysterious places in the world, and we know that the information is high level. It's top knowledge. Well, if you know about things from there that are real and not just shit about penguins, bro, then there's some real deal stuff going on over in Antarctica. So hit my sponsors up below. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your dog. Smoke a blunt. Be blessed and be high. I will see you on Monday. Peace.
Meditating, analyzing everything I see, so I see new horizons. Took the acid, feeling blasted in my brain, so I've been sitting up inside it, thinking about the present and the future. I'm improving cause I am a trooper, never getting caught up in the loop. Got up out it cause I found the truth. Woke up to a beauty of the day, the sun is shining, so I'm finna stay. Sitting, soaking up all of the rays, till I feel it surging through my brain like some booger sugar. Did a lot of cane, experimented with it, couldn't name all the times I did it, feeling like a fade. Yeah, I'm really, really glad that I let it go, cause I gotta be prepped for the time when the plane ride is a new norm. So I know I'm gonna stay high, blaze on the ganja, feeling like I make my music go to another level while I take off. I can't ever stop this, fell in love with it, fit like a glove, so I'm never ever done with it. So now I'm about to rip another beat, ayy. One day I'll make a million in a week, yeah, shooting for the top spot. Feel like I'm a hot shot, like I really got a chance with it. I will not flop, somebody gonna make a dance when I pop off. Gonna have all the bitches taking all the tops off. I've been feeling like I'm really gonna kill it for the rest of my life, so I've been staying focused. In my soul, I've been feeling like $1 million, so I know that everything is really getting closer. Yeah, no posers, only been hanging with the ones I've chosen. Only all the people that are living in the right way, cause they spending every day growing. Yeah, no whole shit coming in my life and then leaving in a moment. That's the shit I'll never let into my life again, cause lately I've been feeling like I'm golden. Never showboat, I just showcase on my music that I made this far. Always knew that I could be the one that would get this far. Now I'm right here looking in my mirror, trying to figure out if there's any more fear, cause I'm getting rid of it all, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting rid of it all. Meditating, analyzing everything I see, so I see new horizons. Took the acid, feeling blasted in my brain, so I've been sitting up inside it, thinking about the present and the future.